Hello, everyone. Let's talk about attraction between men and women. So, there are a lot of men who think that they are attracted to large breasts, big thighs, big butts, things like that. Um, and that's oftentimes what catches the eye. That's what initiates that initial attraction before you kind of get to know someone. So, there's about 30% of men who will just look for something physical attraction, maybe even what they grew up around, the cultural or ethnic preferences based on what was around them as they grew up and their cultural kind of like influences. But there's other layers of attraction. If somebody gets to know you on an emotional level, on a spiritual level, those will almost always override any kind of physical deficiency. I mean, it's not a deficiency, physical form. Because the way physical beauty is capitalized and the standard is set ridiculously high because we have people who are forming their entire lives and also their bodies around a certain attraction, making their butts bigger, making their legs bigger, making their breasts bigger, or even dudes making themselves more shredded and kind of altering themselves in other ways. The beauty standard is very high, but what might catch the eye for the vast majority of dudes originally isn't necessarily what keeps men attracted, at least men who aren't just looking for sex or looking for physical attraction, physical beauty. The emotional connection is something that is not talked about nor held to a certain standard in society. When you feel someone understands you and you understand them on an emotional level, that is a whole nother layer of attraction. It's a deeper layer of attraction, one that lasts much longer than anyone's physical beauty or their ability to maintain it lasts. Of course, there's a spiritual level as well, a spiritual layer. Because here's the thing, when let's say a lot of Christians, so I live in Texas in the United States. Oh, you're Christian too? Oh, cool. You go to church? Cool. Oh, you hold Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior? Cool. That's not necessarily a spiritual connection. You just both happen to be Christian because of custom, not necessarily because of belief or acceptance of that being the spiritual nature of your soul. When there's a spiritual connection that doesn't have to do with society or a societal standard or a family standard when it comes to something like Christianity, then there's a connection that's a spiritual connection, not a religious or societal one. Because most people in this area that I live are Christian. And they just expect other people to be Christian that they're interested in. And they just expect the connection to be made in the way that, if we have kids, then we'll take them to church. We'll do what our parents did. But a deeper spiritual connection has to do with agency in one's spiritual path, choice, and individual spiritual action, whether it be magic or just spiritual practices that you take up, even if you are a Christian. But I'm using an example that isn't, because I'm not Christian. You have a more engaged relationship with your spiritual path than just it's custom. It's what everybody is. Everybody's Christian. Everybody does the same thing. That's why I do it. Do you want to get married, have kids? it's it's a it's a shallow platform, unless there's a deep spiritual connection, and you find a spiritual connection with somebody else that's also quirky, also isn't just accepting what their parents want, also isn't just accepting their the societal standard of religion. Then that's a whole different level of attraction, because spirituality is one of the deepest levels of attraction. Emotion is as well, like I mentioned previously. I wouldn't even say it's shallower, it's just of a different nature. You can feel when somebody else is as compassionate as you, or cares about people like you do, or feels deeply enough that it becomes the platform for themselves as an emotional being. Emotion and spirituality are very deep rooted ways and reasons to be attracted to someone. I when I was more materialistic, you know, big butts, big boobs, that's kind of what I was focused on. Or the kinds of sex that I wanted to have, that's what I was focused on. But, as I got older, but also even back then, um, I started to realize that it wasn't the physical, it was because their body was them that I was attracted to it. Their body was them, and I was attracted to the person, so I was attracted to the body. And that holds true still. And I think that it holds true for most people. I just think that they don't realize it. That you like somebody's body because you like them. And then sex is a way to connect with them on a, you know, primal emotional level. You're still going to have a big section of society that, you know, male or female, it's all about the physicality. Big section. But I think most people can connect on a deeper level and just end up liking their partner's body because it's them. Um, I can't speak on that behalf of females, but I will say that there's been a couple women that I've been with that they don't like beard. I shaved it off recently just because I wanted to grow back fuller, but I had a much longer beard, and one woman told me, it looks like pubic hair on the bottom of a ball sack. But I like it because it's you. And that made me think, I was like, okay, there's a connection where it's not necessarily that, physical attributes was appealing, but because it was a part of me, she liked it. And I've found that to be true with things that I like about women. Let's say a woman has like very small breasts. Um, I have been attracted to them in the past just because I liked that person. And that was a part of her. So I was attracted to that. Um, what a lot of women should hear, because it's true, is that if you have stretch marks on your belly, or you have these things that don't meet the beauty standard that is put out there, that is kind of like the commercial beauty standard, I think that most dudes, if they like you, they won't care about that. And I think that they will want to connect with you if they truly like you. Most dudes, I hate to say it, look for sex originally. The beauty standards are not high, but also their mental and emotional standards and spiritual standards are not high as well. But I think that when most dudes get to know a woman, they start to actually like them. They supersede the physical instinct to have sex. For dudes, I think it's usually the sexual instinct is the initiator for you pursuing someone. For women, I think it's different. I think it's the sexual instinct is more emotional and not physical. And accepting a dude into your life is because you see that there's something in him that you are attracted to as a person. I'm a little bit putting women on a pedestal here, but I think that that's usually how it works. Usually. I think my overall message here is that don't feel like you have to meet a beauty standard to find the one that you're meant to be with. There's a whole lot of dumb standards out there. There's a whole lot of materialistic standards. On Instagram, I have an Instagram account, Veve Masta, but there's so many accounts on there that's just like gigantic boobs, gigantic butts, very slim waists. It's dehumanizing because we are idealizing a grotesque version of the human body that makes things bigger than they naturally should be. And even if the natural standard, even if that's not something you meet, you shouldn't feel bad about that. You shouldn't feel bad about yourself, who you are as a person, and what your body looks like. And ultimately, whether you're male or female, I think that you should look for somebody who connects with you as an individual. Everything that's in here, not the surface level of physicality. Because the best love that I've ever made has been with women who I connected with on an emotional and spiritual level. It's the kind of love that you make when you don't even need to make love sometimes. You can just have your clothes on and hold each other for hours and hours, and you lose track of time because it's an ecstatic state of just being against each other without there's physical attraction, but that's not the main purpose. You're connecting with another human being. You're against another human being. You are in love with another human being. And it's of the opposite sex, but that's not the point of it. Because it feels like you're a complete and whole individual coming from two different bodies. But that is the ideal. And the ideal also, I think this is a virtuous ideal anyway. The ideal doesn't always work out because obviously I'm single now, so. But that level of connection should always be strived for. And I would say to all women, stop judging your bodies so much and don't look at commercials and TV and pictures and think that you have to be that. You can be so much more than that. That's nothing. Physicality is nothing. At any rate, thank you very much for watching. I hope this has been interesting. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, shoot them down in the comment section below on YouTube. I would love to hear anything that y'all have to say. Please hit that thumbs up down there. It really helps out the channel. At any rate, thank you very much for watching. I hope this has been interesting. I hope this has been useful. And I want all of you to have a wonderful day.